I'm just gonna record that. Okay, so talking about buy-in, when we talk about buy-in, we're talking about our players being involved, our official group and our management group being involved, and also our, most importantly, our parents and our community being involved. I have seen some. We see some great examples in a lot of countries and places. If you look at in Zambia, a lot of the football clubs do it very well. How did you do that? Okay, that's being a bit problematic. So a lot of the football clubs and I seem to remember there was a rugby club that didn't do a bad job of it. So that's where I would be looking locally for you as to where you can get ideas as to how to build that rapport, because it comes down to people skills. For me personally, I really struggle with that. I am a coach. That's my job. That's what I do. I get forced into the other roles of managing and sports trainer and sort of social media and web design. All that stuff happen. I have to do it because we don't have enough people, and we don't have the money to get the people with the skill sets. But I don't do it very well. So for me, understanding that is important, because don't just know what you do well, you need to know what you don't do well to get assistance with that. Okay, because if you keep trying to do it all yourself, it's not going to happen. So my advice from my experience, having set up how many now? 5 or 6 clubs, okay, with varying levels of success, from complete and utter failure to really nicely growing clubs with strong members, people going to nationals, people going international. So the way that's worked best, and the process I would suggest, they're make them player focused clubs. Focus on the kids and having fun. Don't worry about wins and losses and who goes national, who goes international. That'll flow. That'll happen anyway. Okay. As long as they're having fun and they're enjoying themselves, though, and they keep training, they will get results. Okay. Make it a community. Okay. Don't, positive, welcoming atmosphere, as opposed to some gyms and some clubs you'll find where people try to be really tough and hard and this sort of thing. It appeals to a certain element of the community, but it doesn't get you wider support. Okay, you get a lot more support and a lot more engagement with fun, social, enjoyable situation. I'll see if I can find it. I'll see if I can pump this link across to you in a moment. There was a study done here in in Australia. All right, I will just give me 2 seconds while this loads. All right, so I will share this with you, hopefully, maybe, possibly, once it loads, assuming it loads. There we go. Right, let's get this thing sorted. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. All right. So this is a short clip from some research done in Australia into why kids play sport. So we have a real problem in Australia, particularly with team sports, with parents and bystanders yelling abuse at kids, telling them they're effing useless, swearing at them. It's pretty atrocious. You will have seen this sort of behaviour in football, in soccer. Um, it happens a lot. So it's really not a positive thing. So thankfully in wrestling we don't see it much. Um, but yeah, I mean, but that's the sort of culture that you want to get rid of or stop from developing at the beginning. But all right, so that's so the main thing that I wanted to sort of the reason I brought that up is because when they were talking at the beginning, the reason that they're there is to have fun with their mates. Um, and I think if you can hit on that, then and it's not just training, it's more there's also a social element to it and an engagement with their friends, and making friends, you know, socializing. That's the big benefit to young people in the sport. It starts there and it'll just grow. And if your other stakeholders, so your coaches and your managers, and your officials, if they're all um, seeing that and engaged in that, then I think that's what helps you build a strong club. So when something does happen, um, everything doesn't fall in a hole. Um, it's very it's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Um, we've got a coaching team at Edith Cowan. We've got 3 coaches, um, and that really helps because it gives us the ability to, if somebody's sick, if somebody can't has to work, then we've got other coaches who can just come in and run the sessions. And the players are still getting practice. They're still getting games. Um, and when we've got people who have to go away for competition, then the club doesn't stop because we've got a team going to a competition. The club keeps working, the players go and play and the coach goes with them, etc., and then they come back, nothing actually changes. So that's really important. If everything just stops cold because Tim and the coach had to go to South Africa for a competition, oh, great. How that only makes other people feel that they're not as valuable. Does that make sense? If it's a local competition and the whole club is going, or a camp or something that everyone's involved in, that's great. But you look at it, generally speaking, what I would suggest is don't schedule your training for days when you've got competitions, and where possible, if you need to, like, if you're going to have a team or a coach or whatever away, then you need to have redundancy in there so that you've still got coaches training. And so everything happens in the club as normal. It's just another day at the office, so to speak. And same with, if there's people going away to a competition, hey, great, awesome. It doesn't, and this is where Murdoch University fell down as opposed to Edith Cowan. With Murdoch, there was only one coach. There wasn't, all they ever did was training 2 days a week, and that's it. Edith Cowan, on the other hand, looked to arrange events. They have activations, they have movie nights, they have pizza nights. So they're engaged in the community. They're doing partnerships with other clubs. They're involved with the School of Sports Science and the research that's going on there. So they're a lot more active. And because of that, they get more attention and more support from the university and so on. So I think if you can hit that, if you can get engagement from your player group and their parents, and there is things happening and that you're involved, then that'll give you that sense of community and that buy-in that you're looking for. It's not a quick process. You do need to grow organically. So there's no way to suddenly boost your numbers. But having that buy-in, being a community, and not just training once or twice a week, that sort of thing. Make sure that it's player driven so that they're deciding what other stuff they want to do as a team, as a club, outside of just training. Do they want to have, do we want to arrange a weekend match? You've got the guys in Kasama as well. You can always send the invite down to them, to Boniface, and see if they'll come up for a game. Maybe prevail upon Naomi and Mercy in Kabwe, and help them motivate some of their young people to get a club happening and a team happening, and do those sorts of things. Like I said, there is the Johnny Ritz Big Five. That's, as an association, that's a big one that we want to get people to. Myself and Cray or Karen are coming to Africa for the Johnny Ritz Big Five, and then we'll be in Zambia for a couple of weeks afterwards. Definitely looking to organise workshops and training, actual workshop sessions with your clubs to help increase your numbers, increase your knowledge, and to grow your sport as much as we can. There's a good chance we will have some friends from South Africa who will come up as well. I would suspect that there's probably going to be one or two people fresh back from under 17 Worlds who will be more than happy to come up. Um, so that could be a lot of fun as well. But yes, so hopefully that helped. I'm very sorry I don't actually have a presentation on that. I will do some more research and see what tools are available. But yeah, as far as building buy-in, um, people are people. Every place is different. Every group of people you meet is different. There, from what I've seen, there is no magic bullet. There's no easy solution. It's simply try something, see if it works. If that doesn't work, shift and adjust. Just talking to people, understanding what they need, and working to meet that need so that that way you can get the type of involvement that you're looking for. Does that help at all, Angela, or not really? Sorry, I wish I had an easy answer. Maybe not. All right, that can be stopped.